Imagine pulling out a Nokia brick in 2025. Sounds wild, right? But in the early 2000s, that was peak cool. Nokia was unkillable, literally. Drop it off a roof, still works. Run it over with your car, still calls your grandma. Forgot it in the freezer overnight, still got Snake 2 running. Survive a nuclear blast? Probably. And BlackBerry? That keyboard was everything. If you were serious about work, you were typing out emails on a BlackBerry with one hand and flexing BBM with the other. But today, these one mighty brands are nowhere near their former glory. Nokia became a shadow of its former self and BlackBerry faded into irrelevance. Their dramatic fall from grace makes everyone wonder. How did two industry leaders, seemingly at the top of their game, lose everything? And why do their failure look suspiciously similar? Was it just the rise of iPhones and Android, or maybe there was something bigger? Hi, I'm Mike Inishev and today I'll break it down. In the early 2000s, when flip phones were cool and texting required T9 patience, Nokia was undisputed king of mobile phones. It wasn't just a brand, it was synonymous with mobile technology. Who could forget those indestructible Nokia 3310s? They survived drops, spills, and even the occasional throw. And the battery life? You'd charge it once and forget about it for days, while our expensive iPhones now can barely last one day. Then there was that iconic user-friendly interface, clean, intuitive, and welcoming to everyone. Whether you were a tech wizard or just wanted to call your friends, Nokia made it effortless. No endless updates, bloatware, just pure reliable functionality. And let's not forget about Nokia's global domination. That iconic logo. By 2007 it was stamped on half of the phones on the planet. So, what happened? What led such a thriving company to a total disaster? Sadly for Nokia, it made 4 devastating business mistakes. The first one is overconfidence in Symbian OS. What is it? Well, before iOS and Android there was Symbian OS, the brainpower behind Nokia's legendary smartphones, turning them into tiny computers that could email, game, and even browse the web. It was the rebuilt operational system of its time, until smartphones emerged. Apple's iPhone introduced a full touch experience, while Android provided a more flexible operation system. And instead of innovating quickly, Nokia stuck with outdated Symbian for too long. The second mistake arises from the previous one, underestimating the power of touchscreens. The iPhone quickly proved that users preferred touchscreen devices over keypads, but Nokia somehow dismissed that trend, believing physical buttons were essential. By the time they embraced touchscreens, Apple and Samsung had already taken over. The third crucial mistake was betting on the wrong partnership. In 2011, at the peak of smartphone revolution, Nokia made a bold and ultimately disastrous choice. Instead of joining the Android wave, like Samsung, HTC and others, Nokia's then CEO Stephen Elop famously called their own platform a burning platform and struck an exclusive deal with Microsoft. The Lumia series, running Windows Phone, had sleek designs and smooth interface, but it was too little in comparison with competitors. So the last mistake of Nokia was failing to build a strong app ecosystem. App Store and Google Play quickly became key selling points for iPhones and Android devices, while Microsoft Phone Store was slow to develop and had no Instagram, Snapchat, or even Google Maps. Nokia's ecosystem couldn't compete, making its phones less attractive to modern users because why buy a Windows Phone when Android did more? By the time Nokia realized its mistakes, it was too late. In 2014, Microsoft acquired Nokia's mobile division, marking the end of its dominance. So, the company that once defined mobile phones became a footnote in tech history. In the mid-2000s, BlackBerry was the ultimate status symbol for business professionals and power users. It dominated the corporate world for several reasons. First of all, BlackBerry offered unmatched security. Its encrypted messaging made it preferred choice for businesses and governments. Its physical QWERTY keyboard provided fast and efficient typing, making it a favorite for professionals who relied on emails and texting. Speaking of texting, Long before WhatsApp and iMessage, there was BBM, BlackBerry Messenger, the VIP launch of texting. Exclusively for BlackBerry users, it offered lightning-fast encrypted chats, addictive read receipts, and even personalized PIN codes instead of phone numbers. BlackBerry was an integral part of the business field. It was the phone for suits, senators, and CEOs. It ran boardrooms and briefings, encrypted and unstoppable. And at its peak, BlackBerry had over 50 million active users, and in 2009, it was the best-selling smartphone brand in the United States. But that kind of dominance breeds one deadly thing: complacency. And BlackBerry got too-way comfortable. BlackBerry's downfall wasn't just bad luck. It was a series of stubborn missteps. When Apple unveiled the iPhone's sleek touchscreen in 2007, BlackBerry made the same mistake as Nokia. They scoffed cleaning to physical keyboards as if they were everything. By the time they reluctantly launched touchscreen models like BlackBerry Storm, it was a buggy, half-hated effort far too late to win back users that were already enchanted by iPhones and Androids. Then came the app revolution. While Apple and Google turned phones into pocket-sized entertainment hubs, BlackBerry doubled down on security and corporate features, treating apps an afterthought. Their obsession with security, once their crown jewel, became their Achilles heel. While rivals balanced safety with sleek interfaces, BlackBerry's operation system felt clunky and old. Even corporate clients, their last stronghold, eventually swept their BlackBerries for iPhones. Their desperate comebacks only deepened their disaster. The BlackBerry playbook, the attempt at competing with the iPad, flopped without native apps. Even their move to Android in later years couldn't save them because their brand had already lost trust. By the mid-2010s, BlackBerry had gone from boardroom king to background noise. Market share? Almost gone. In 2016, it topped out of making phones, and 6 years after, the final curtain dropped. Legacy services shut down for good. In the end, BlackBerry didn't just fail to adapt, it refused to, until the world moved on without it. These two brand stories are really sad, but at the same time they are very instructive, so it's time to learn their lessons. Lesson number 1. Innovation must be continuous. Nokia and BlackBerry became too comfortable with their success and didn't evolve fast enough. Technology, user needs, and design trends change rapidly. Brands that fail to innovate risk becoming obsolete. For example, Apple constantly improves iOS, hardware, and design language, ensuring its device remain desirable. What's there to talk about? They have a new iPhone model coming out every year. Lesson number 2. Never ignore market trends. Touchscreens and apps defined the smartphone revolution, but Nokia and BlackBerry dismissed them until it was too late.
Here's 4 smartphones, right? Motorola Q, the BlackBerry, Palm Treo, Nokia E62, the usual suspects. And what's wrong with their user interfaces? Well, the problem with them is really sort of in the bottom 40 there. It's this stuff right here. They all have these keyboards that are there whether you need them or not to be there.
Businesses shouldn't cling to outdated features just because they worked in the past or preserved brand legacy. For instance, Netflix transitioned from DVDs to streaming early, ensuring it stayed ahead of competitors, while Blockbuster clung to the traditional rental model, and we all know how their competition ended up. Lesson number 3. Adapt to the ecosystem, don't isolate yourself. Nokia's Windows Phone partnership limited its access to apps, while BlackBerry's closed ecosystem prevented apps developers from engaging. Instead of isolating a product, brands should integrate it into the dominant ecosystem or build one that is strong enough to compete. That's how Android's open system allowed manufacturers like Samsung to thrive. Lesson number 4. Nostalgia alone can't save a brand. Nokia and BlackBerry both made comeback attempts, relying on nostalgia rather than true innovation. Users briefly welcomed them, but without modern functionality, they failed to sustain interest. For instance, Nintendo succeeded by bleeding nostalgia with fresh ideas, introducing Mario and Zelda to innovative gameplay on the Switch console. So yeah, nostalgia works only if combined with innovation. A great past is no substitute for a great present. Remember guys, to create products that stand the test of time, innovation, adaptability, and user-centric design must be at least the heart of every decision. Because without constant improvement that works today won't necessarily work tomorrow. So would you buy a Nokia if it tried to come back again? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe, and see you in the next one.